happened.
I want to talk about what just happened.
Alright, Zeus, do you want to start it off then, since you had something on
Yeah,
your
yeah.
mind?
Okay, so yeah, I think that well, we were. I mean, yeah, it could have been teams, I guess, as someone was saying, but I think that we could not reestablish a like. We retreated. I think the first round we retreated with 4 of our players, and we could not find a place to establish a hold on second. So it makes me wonder if we needed the whole team to be there to even hold second at all.
I was
I don't.
thinking. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was thinking that everywhere we kind of came from, like from our spawn, was always lower than where the enemy would come from, especially at like second. So we'd come through here, and they'd always have like immediate high ground, even if they were kind of late.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, that could be like maybe we need to review the map more and like look for like we need to take positions that are like more higher, I guess. But I also think that the routes we were choosing were probably the shortest path, so it is probably a thing where you might want to consider raising those up or finding a way to like balance the high ground difference. And I think that that's definitely a thing on last. Like I was saying before, the like defending this is really difficult because the team that pushes in comes in with a high ground advantage. So it's like I don't know of many maps that have this kind of situation. Like short of maybe Badlands, but even that's still like the choke is very much something a demo could safely hold, I guess. And then another just minor thing, the spawns, the spawn points were really close together, so I would space them out a little bit to make it just a little easier to tag everyone as medic. Also, usually what happens is people will jump towards the cabinet for the rollout, and you want the spawn point to be in range of like being able to heal your demo while he's like trying to get through the door. Yeah. Anyway, so that's all the feedback I have, I guess.
I would agree with this.
I do think we should probably run it again with different teams because I feel like that was. I want to eliminate the idea that this was just the teams. So I think and because it was so quick, I think we should run it again.
Yeah, we can do that if people want to, because I know we have XP Man and Mache on standby for subs, if anyone wants to sub out.
Other feedback, anyone?
I can give some. So, just so this is on the record, Zeus was on the team that was constantly defending. I was on the team that was constantly attacking. For mids, I felt that mids played fine. I did like the idea of like you enter from a high ground position and then you go right to low ground. So it's like you seem that you're at an advantage, but then you're right on neutral ground with the enemy. So I like the design in that aspect. Playing on the right side, we never really went left. I think the only time I went left on the mid to heal players there was just because our scout and our soldier were incredibly hurt and we're in the process of openly fighting somebody on the little doorway area. I don't really know what to call it. More so just that small doorway we commented upon in the beginning before we started playing. But I just felt, at least from like watching some of the fighting going on around there, it seemed like if anybody was really playing at that, if they weren't a scout, they were at an extreme disadvantage. You could make a case for a soldier like bombing there and whatnot to get a team if they're like trying to like defend mid or something, but we never had an instance where there was a mid defense, so we don't know how well that whole area openly plays. As for pushing into second, so I felt that the sheer volume of how large the area between getting from mid to second, initially I felt that was bad, but I quite like it because it actually gives the retreating team some time to breathe, since the offensive team needs to cover a lot of ground before they can really get in onto mid. So I do like how that played, but again, from a defensive standpoint, I felt that the defending team for this had extreme disadvantage, at least in the way that they were holding, Just because again we enter and then we're on neutral ground, and if you're defending, you're pretty much on neutral, if not low ground.
Or retreating to low ground too.
Yeah, exactly, and retreating to low ground, so it makes it so much easier for just a soldier to get in and cause some damage. Like, we had a play, I believe, where a soldier got behind them while our scout pushed forward for a pincer, and the soldier just had free reign because they were retreating onto that low ground. As for pushing into last, I think last's design is honestly the most egregious. When we were pushing right in, we had constant high ground that entire time, and there wasn't really like a good spot that I could see where the defensive team could establish a hold. Again, I was talking in the beginning about how, oh, they could try and hold close, but anytime we're pushing onto last, we've got an Uber. And then if we've got an Uber and they're holding close, if they don't have their med right there, it's disastrous. So I'd say at least in a way to try and improve last, I'd just lower things so that way like the offensive team doesn't have complete high ground on that last. Like it should be, when you're defending it should be neutral ground, I feel. If not, at least give the defensive team some high ground, because the only high ground they realistically have is when they're coming out of spawn and then they're blocked by these little areas to prevent like a sniper from being able to spawn peek them, or if they've got a player holding on the archway above the point. So I feel defensive team should have more high ground. Offensive team shouldn't have a whole ton of high ground, if any, pushing onto last, because it just feels that if you get second, you get mid. Sorry, if you get second, you get last. Apologies.
Yeah, I feel like you could probably just take the entire bottom area of this and just raise it up to be like either at level or, I mean, obviously change other stuff, but like almost this. I like the low ground route, but like the low ground that you're on for the control point really is too punishing for defense.
Yeah. Like I agree with Zeus, like raise up, and then the low ground is nice here for this little flank route, but I feel like something could be done, like maybe in like another flank route that further wraps or something, or maybe like another entryway, because now is if you get rid of that lower route entirely, there's only two ways to enter onto the last point. I feel like you could possibly make a third way or something, one that takes advantage of maybe that far left side, because it's either you go right or you go mid. I know in a previous iteration of this map in 8.5 there were like too many entryways onto last, or wait, no, I'm thinking of a different map, sorry. But I know I've seen some maps where like there's too many entries onto last, but I feel like for this one, if you raise up mid, get rid of that lower flank, and then add a flank route on this far right side, I feel like that would be a good and healthy change for this map. Again, I like how mid plays. I can't speak on it from a defensive manner. Second, as a defensive team, you're retreating into low ground, which I don't like. And just the current state, if you cap second, you get last for free.
Yeah, if you want to spectate me, Nessman, I think what you could do is there's this area here where you have this kind of like cliff on second, and like I think you could kind of expand this out some more and make it more like this could be more of a place where not only can you retreat through here, but this would be a better like default hold. So you could try to basically expand it coming along all the way like around here. So it's almost like it envelops the area in which you would like basically you're forcing, in order to cap the point, you're forcing the attacking team to take a low ground position. So the defense actually has a chance to not only trap the point, but also try to like establish like a trap on one of these the doors here. And then also the opportunity for someone to bomb from the high ground into the choke and force an Uber out early. Hope that makes sense. I'll draw you a diagram if that doesn't make sense. All right. Any other thoughts, feedback? I have strong words to say.
Really, besides like the high and low ground issues, I do think that there's like a lot of really fun and like interesting structures to play around on this map. So that's like a really good positive for it, especially like these walls in here, between like the first and second.
I agree. The theme is definitely unique, and I do like it.
Yeah,
With
I
all the
echo-
pillars at last, that's really fun too.
Oh yeah, no, I echo both what Zeus and Croplight are saying. Like the terrain and the overall like architecture design for the map, I quite like, and everything. Like again, it was fun, like just playing around areas. I felt like as a med, like I was because the structures I was relatively secure, but it's also one of those like soldiers can easily have a field day with just how much like high ground terrain they can get off of with the structures. And again, like I like that design. Like no one class feels excessively powerful. Maybe like scout on mid, but that's about it. But yeah, no, I like the design and everything. It's just second and last need work. I think mid is in a healthy spot, but that's also because I wasn't playing an offense class. I was playing med.
All right. Any other feedback? Anyone have anything to say? Desmond?
I was not performing well, so I do not have feedback. Spleep, Skeptical, Skirly, Nero, Sixes. You guys got anything?
Don't think so. Not right now.
Okay. All right. I think we should try to run it again.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, and let's try to balance the teams out better.
Yeah,